no issues this time. Um, Before I get started and before anyone shows up, I did want to mention if you are watching this in after after the live in reruns or whatever they call it, you may, if you want to follow along with the chat, you may have to wait a day or so. Well, usually like the next day, it catches up. So just letting you know that if you want to know what I'm responding to, that is the best way to do it. What the heck? Now I've got what? I've got an ad on here on my own live, and why is the volume on? Oh, there it is. Volume. I think our grandson was using the computer. Hello, whoever is here. Why can I not find the volume thing? Oh, found it. Why won't it go? I want to go down.
Check this out.
Okay, because I don't want to have my live saying in the background what I'm saying. Hey, Dormouse. All right, I got to skip this ad, but it was for some automotive thing, but the guy is kind of cute, so I kind of wanted to watch it, but I'm skipping it. Okay, so I hope that you are doing well. First of all, let me say, because I did not do a new video this week, I did a blast from the past pumpkin thing. I have been having some physical issues this week, so if I have any during the live, I'm going to try my best not to swear, which can sometimes, hello, can't even talk, which can sometimes be what I do, because it can be a little painful, and so I'm just hoping. I seem to have calmed down a little bit. I was having a few issues earlier. We'll see what happens. I'd love to know who else is here besides Dormouse. If you want to let me know in the chat, say hello. But I hope everybody's doing well. And I believe Dormouse might have been the one to do it, but could give me a thumbs up, I would appreciate it. They definitely, Dormouse, swear words definitely help, because I think there's something about the hard sounds of some of those words that just get it out. But I do try not to. At least on my channel, Paul's always saying that he started swearing only after he met me, which I kind of believe, but I mean, I think he swore before, but I don't think it was as pervasive as it is now. But yeah, sometimes it's those sounds that really help to express what you're feeling. But yeah, so I've been having a lot of cramps, a lot of spasms. My arms, for some reason, don't like being up in this position for too long. Grumpy's the same. As I point out, I swear at myself, not others. That's what, see, because when something happens, like, I don't know if it's my ADD, my OCD, but when something goes out of alignment of what I'm expecting it to do, I get all aggravated and I swear. And Paul is like, why are you swearing at me? And I'm like, I'm not swearing at you. It's just like I told him before I started, don't knock on the window and scare me while I'm doing the live. I get very easily scared. He just walks into the room and not him, anybody. If I don't hear them, because I'm usually, my ADD sometimes has me so focused and I'm always in my head that I don't pay attention around me, which serial killers, probably the prime victim right here. In fact, I brought out the laptop to sit out here on the porch, and I was going back in to get the stand for the phone, and Paul was standing in the doorway and scared me. So when things like that happen, I swear it's not directed at anyone. It's just an expression of what I am feeling at the moment. And yes, if you hear in the background, those are gunshots. As I've mentioned before, there is a gun club up the road. I forget what they call it, but it's like, one of those hunting, fishing kind of clubs. And they have a little range across the street. So if you hear the gunshots, that's what that is. I'm not being invaded. But I see 6 people here. If anyone would like to say hi and let me know who is here. I know Dormouse is here. But I'd love to know who else is joining me and hopefully giving me a thumbs up. Yeah, so as I was saying, I've been having a lot of issues. And the weird thing is, it's kind of like, because it's my muscles and my nerves, but I don't think my nerves really have as much to do with this piece of it. But because my muscles would always be like this, or like I was trying to play a computer game last night with Paul, and it involved shooting, but my arm was going like this. I couldn't even target anything. So I was like, but because my muscles are working like that and doing whatever they feel like doing, I get very tired, because it's almost like I'm exercising a lot, because my muscles are always moving, always doing things. Well, usually when they're in that state, are doing things. But so it's almost like I'm working out, but I'm not. So I get very tired when I'm in those states. I'm a little tired today, but I'll get through it. Dormouse, at my daughter's, it is airplanes coming in or taking off that gives me a jump. The constant muscle spasms are exhausting. They are. And like I said, it's like I'm constantly working out and I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting there and like I'm having stomach problems, or even laying there. I have problems, especially when I first lay down in bed. My sides really cramp up a lot for some reason. And I think I might have mentioned this before. If I turn onto that side, it seems to ease that side, but then the other side starts acting up. So, I don't know. This is all so random. Just whenever the hell it feels like happening, it happens. But, it is what it is. I've learned to live with it. I mean, it's been probably almost 9 years now. And when it first started happening, as I've mentioned previously, I know, it scared the crap out of me, because my stomach would suddenly clench and be so painful. But then it would ease, then I'd get another one. It's kind of like, as I've mentioned before, having an earthquake and then aftershocks. I'll have a really intense cramp, and then it'll ease, happen again, but lesser than it had been before. But yeah, it's very exhausting. There's never really much I can do for it. I tried muscle relaxants. Hi, Alan. No need to apologize. I actually have your channel ready to share just in case you popped in. I didn't know if you might be out and about having some fun, you and Mark, but Here is Alan's channel. He is over in the UK following Slimming World, so you can check him out. Unless you live with it or chronic pain, folk do not understand how you have to rest for days, periods. Yeah, and it does make it challenging because I will have a plan, like I did this week, of doing a recipe for the video, and then I'm having all sorts of issues, so I sometimes can push it off. This week, the way I timed it, I didn't. Oh, a train event. I know you love those train events. You were in your little conductor uniform, I assume. That looks like it's a lot of fun, really, Alan. Yeah, so it can be challenging because it's so random. But as I was saying, I've tried muscle relaxants, but because this is just comes and goes whenever the whim strikes, there's really not much I can do unless I were to maybe take muscle relaxants constantly, which I really don't want to do. I take enough medications. I don't feel like adding to it if I can help it. And considering how random this is and how I've tried some, they haven't really done much. Yeah, that does look like a lot of fun, Alan. I wish I was more out there doing things like that, but I'm really such a homebody. And I hope that you're feeling better. I know doing your walks, hopefully working your legs and getting. Hi Hazel, first timer on your channel, love all your recipes and just ordered your book. Oh, thank you, that's very kind of you. Welcome, Hazel. I'm glad to have you here. Glad you caught me in a live. I'm glad you spoke up and said hello. I appreciate that. And thank you for those kind words. I do get a lot of good feedback on the recipes. I have a few that I've worked on that I'm planning on sharing. The next one, once I'm feeling well enough to do it, is the Southern style chicken stew. I mean, I didn't copy the recipe, but I looked through a lot of recipes for that kind of thing. And the only thing I think that makes it Southern, because I'm not from the South, I'm not going to proclaim that this is an actual Southern thing, which is my main point here, is that it's in a gravy of some sort. So I think that's really all that makes it Southern style. At least in all the recipes that I looked at, you know, yes, doing all my walks, but sometimes I can be in pain and go only so far. Oh yeah, believe me, I know. I have a cane to help me walking, mostly because if my legs give out, I need to have something to keep me from going down. But I mean, even just walking around the store, doing my shopping once a week, I come home and I'm exhausted between walking around the store, bringing in the groceries, putting them away. It's very draining, which is kind of irritating considering how I used to be able to do all this stuff with no problem whatsoever. So, but, life does what it wants to do sometimes. So, hi, Anna Maria. How are you? I hope that you are doing well. I hope everyone's doing well. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up. I got to stop saying that. It really does. I don't even know if it really makes that much of a difference. At this point, who cares? Hanging in there, yeah, I know that feeling. I'm with you there. So Alan, when Now, you haven't had your surgery on your foot yet, have you? I know I've missed a few videos because I've been like totally unable to focus on things, so I need to catch up on videos. Dormouse, I am on the hunt for funky light for my walker and wheelchair. Nights and mornings dark. Oh, yeah. My daughter has a string of pumpkins on hers. I miss just being able to do shoes, coat, go for a walk. Yeah, I'm with you there, Dormouse. It's it's so. I mean, this kind of stuff was supposed to happen to me, in another 20 years maybe. I shouldn't be at almost 62. This, but shouldn't be. Who's to say that? Anna Maria, back to the grind for my weight loss journey. My doctor has me doing the Lose It app. Yeah, I've heard good things about the Lose It app. The one problem for me is I think it only does like calorie counting, I believe. I could be wrong. And I really just, the minutia of calorie counting, that's why WW and now the Healthy Better Balanced Plan really helped me, because the zero bite foods, things I didn't have to worry about tracking. If I had to track every little thing I put in my mouth, I think it would make me insane. More insane than I already am. But whatever works for you, as I've always said, may not work for me, but if it works for you, next year, but you went to get a special shoe yesterday, I will get it in a few weeks' time. Oh, that was a loud acorn. If you heard that loud crack, that was like an acorn falling from somewhere. I know this all happened in my mid-40s, but it is what it is. I need to accept small wins. Definitely. And now, I know I'm repeating myself, but I've mentioned this before about when I was going to my neurologist, the first neurologist that was really helping me to deal with all of this. He said, like, I would go in and we'd be joking around, and he's like, I can't believe your attitude. It's like most of my patients come in here and it's all doom and gloom and, oh, woe is me. And I'm like, what is that going to serve? It's not going to do anything. It's not going to help improve anything. Having a better attitude is definitely going to improve things. So, yes, it's been rough. But like you said, Dormouse, it is what it is. You have to live with it. I'm not going to wallow in it and cry about it. I mean, I have had moments where it's like, but, I'm definitely not going to, focus on the negative aspect of it. I can still do things. I'm still here. Anna Maria, I'm back up to 194, so I need to get back on track. I can't afford WW. I can't afford WW either. I'm on a fixed income because of my disability. I can't afford it. The Healthy app, it's 1 year for about the price of 1 month of WW, so that I can manage. Actually, I think my renewal is coming up in December. But yeah, I cannot afford WW. It's way too expensive. So that's why I'm with Healthy. But to be honest, I have like 30 pounds I need to drop back again. And I tried to weigh, I tried to weigh myself yesterday, and I guess I didn't charge my scale. I have a Renfo scale that links up with my phone. I love it. It gives me all sorts of details, but I guess I didn't charge it well enough the last time, so it didn't have any power. And I thought, okay, that is the universe's way of saying, don't weigh in this week. You're probably not going to like the results. So just do it next week. So next week I will weigh in and just, it is what it is. But yeah, I definitely need to get focused, start tracking. That's my biggest problem is I have not been tracking anything because I'll start off tracking and then if one thing, like I have a muffin, throws me off, I'm like, why bother tracking this? So, I mean, I really have to get focused on tracking. That really is my way of being accountable, but it really does help me to focus on it. Dormouse, I had several years stuck in bed, so now getting up for a short walk, amazing. But other days I can't even turn over in bed, but hold thought better days will come. Yeah, I'm with you there, Dormouse. There are days when actually when I go to bed, as I said, I sometimes get a lot of cramps, especially in my sides. I'll wake up in the middle of the night with like Charlie horses, very intense, painful ones. So I have to get up and kind of press my feet down to try to move the muscle out of that lock. And sometimes I've woken up with both of them doing it. I don't know why I did four, with both legs doing that at the same time. Sometimes it's the back of my thigh. I mean, it could be very random. But sometimes I go in bed and I kind of have to toss and turn, and then I'm afraid I'm keeping Paul up with all my movement because he's a very light sleeper. So sometimes I'll get up, I'll try to take something, and you know, like a Advil at least maybe can like dull any inflammation. Sometimes I'll take a melatonin to help me to try to push me into sleep so I'm not tossing and turning. Hi, Chris. How are you? Dormouse. I had a frustrating week completely on Slimming World. Took my own food when everyone else had Indian meal and heck, put on 2 pounds. So I'll refocus and crack on for the coming week. Yeah, I totally understand that. I am doing well-ish. Chris, I was saying how I've been having some physical issues, my intense pains and cramps and spasms and whatnot. Um, they really tire me out, which is why I couldn't do a new video this week and aired like a flashback or fallback. Hi, Karen. Happy to have you here. Welcome. Hazel, I need to lose 80 pounds. 50 days in and still only lost 16. I'm not discouraged, but it's still a loss. Definitely. You know what? It's going to be slow and steady is really the way to win the race. Pushing a quick weight loss, it's not maintainable. If you lose weight too quickly, you're probably doing something that you're not going to be able to sustain. So it's definitely not the way to go. Slow and steady. I think 16 pounds in 50 days, I think is actually pretty good. That's, let's say, what, 48 days would be that's, I can't do math that quickly. I don't know what I'm trying to do. But I think that's good. And it's definitely a loss, so keep it going, Hazel. You've got it. I mean, you're on the right track. Don't worry about rushing it. That's all I can say. Well, it's not all I can say, but about that. But yeah, I'm trying to not keep my arms bent because for some reason my biceps don't like that and they will cramp intensely. So anyway, how are things going with all of you? I'd love to hear what is going on in your world, how things are, or as I always say, if you have any questions for me, feel free to ask. I'm an open book for the most part, so You know, unless it's like my social security number, I'll probably give it to you. Not the social security number, but the answer to some other question. But yeah, so I've been just trying to let myself relax and not, because one of my problems is I get something set in my head, like doing my video. I can't do it and it throws me off because I feel like, oh, I should have done it. I should have done it sooner. I start beating myself up about whatnot. What I really need to do is just, it is what it is. I'm sorry I couldn't do a video. And that's kind of what I resolved to when I said, oh wait, I can air a fallback video, something pumpkin, and I'm going to be doing that throughout the month. Not on Fridays. I'm hoping to have my new recipes on Fridays. But throughout the month, I'm going to throw out some pumpkin recipes for those who, like me, love pumpkin. Yeah, so pumpkin is one of my favorites. I do have other things that I will try to focus on more than pumpkin for the fall, like apple, maple, which I've done before. Pear is actually something more towards Christmas in my head, but still something good that I will hopefully share things of. I do have recipes using those in the catalog, but and as you can, well, I don't know if you can see, some of the leaves back here are yellowing, but over here, let me see, there's more like some brownish leaves, reddish brownish, going towards the back. Paul's probably looking from inside the room because if you know, our office and our guest room are torn apart. I know, no pumpkin for you, Sandy. Believe me, I know. But Sandy, let me find your channel here and share your channel. Why can I not move this down? But I'm glad you're here, Sandy. Why am I, what is going on here? Oh. Looking forward to, I did, Hazel, just do a collab with some people from the UK and some people from the US for crockpot meals. And I do have a playlist for slow cooker crockpot meals on the channel. Actually, I'll share that in a moment once I get Sandy's channel up here. I wish they would let me put these channels that I'm subscribed to in alphabetical order. Oh, there you are, Sandy. I gotcha. Right here is Sandy's channel. Let's see. Yeah, Sandy and I have been playing a word game, Stop. So we've been like competing back and forth. We do things off of YouTube sometimes. I mean, not physically off of YouTube because she's off elsewhere and I'm here in Massachusetts. But Dormouse, I had a look in a big supermarkets for tin pumpkin when I went to a concert midweek, but nope, guess I need to buy and prep one. The city I am near is a blaze of gold, reds and gold leaves, beautiful. Yeah, I just saw something on Facebook where There was one town that they were like shutting down. They were like being overwhelmed with people coming for the leaves. Maybe it's because I've always grown up around it, being here in New England. But I'm like, I don't see what the big deal is. Why are people traveling to go look at leaves? I don't get it. But there is Sandy's channel. You're welcome, Sandy. Now, I wonder if you can get any tin pumpkin through Amazon, Dormouse. I don't know how that would work over there. I would assume you could get it there because I know I can get it, but it might be pricey. So it's weird. When Amazon first started, it kind of it was much cheaper. And now sometimes I can buy things in the grocery store for much less. So I don't know what's going on there. I guess they just want their profits. But yeah, it's worth a look, Dormouse. You might be able to get it. And if you look through them, usually I can find things from a certain seller that's much cheaper. Sandy, I hate when I get the letter wrong on the game, and especially get mad when I know my answer is correct. Yes. I don't know if any of you have played this game, Stop. It's a phone game where you get categories and then a letter. It's kind of like categories, I guess, where you then have to come up with answers, but you have like, what is it, 45 seconds or 60 seconds, I guess, to come up with them. I do not do well with time things. I also don't do well with typing with spasmy hands, especially on a phone. So I am always messing up letters, and having to go back and try to hurry up and get it. It's really a little stressful, but it's also fun. But I was going to say something else about that. Oh, but Sandy and Joan, who I play with, Joan from, what is it now? Suburban Homestead, something like that. It was Joan's pointed plate before. We play this game, and it was suggested because of my issues that I use the microphone. Thought it was a great idea once Sandy told me how to do it. But I don't know if it's my voice, I don't know if it's my phone, but it will not spell the words correctly most of the time. Hazel, I'm from British Columbia, Canada. Our leaves are turning and nothing like Eastern Canada. I love fall. Fall is my favorite, Hazel. It's like, I like spring because it's the end of winter, but I love fall. And it's weird because the temperatures are comparable to spring, but I would take fall over spring. It might be because of the leaves. It might be because of the chill after the heat. I don't know, but today is really nice out here. I think it's supposed to be like 73 or so. If I could find some place to live that it was like 70 to 75 year round, I would be in heaven. I don't like it hot. I don't like it cold. I hate snow. So why we still live in New England, I don't know. But I'm noticing I'm using my hands a lot. I don't know why. I really shouldn't be because I might cause them to spasm more. But back to the Stop game, I tried using the microphone. It spells all sorts of weird things. So that's not working for me, Sandy. I can't use that. Yes, I did mention that early on, Sandy, that right up the road there's like one of those fin, fur, and feather, groups. And across the road is their shooting range. So especially on the weekends, we get all sorts of gunshots going on. So yes, I'm not being attacked. there are just people practicing their gunshots across the road. Dormouse, I'm definitely an autumn person. I love the colors, the nip in the air. It just smells fresh, for sure. And it's weird. Maybe it's because one of the things I love, is like when you start getting a little chill, you get a little sweatshirt or something and get all cozy. You could do the same thing in spring, but for some reason, there's just something different about it. You got it, Chris. Those are the icons that I need. Fall, fall, fall. Grumpy tried searching using voice. It goes, I do not recognize your language. He has a strong Scottish accent. I think part of it is my jaw sometimes has an issue. I don't know if it's because I'm a little lispy. I don't know what it is. But a lot of the time, it will put its IT apostrophe S at the beginning of all of my... I didn't say anything with an S, so I don't know where it's getting that. I always give you the full minute to answer questions, even if I finish early. Oh, you know what? I didn't even realize that. So if you finish early, because usually as soon as I'm done, I'll swipe the thing, but I didn't realize that would mess up your time. Oh. Now that I know that, I will let the time run out. I did not realize that. We don't get much of leaves changing here in Florida. No, I wouldn't think so. Now, Chris, being in Florida, did you have much of an effect from the hurricane? I know my niece, who lives, I think in Orlando, or around Orlando, somewhere around there, she said it didn't really affect them too much. So hopefully you didn't have too much of an issue with the hurricane either. But yeah, I mean, I guess I can see if you're not around leaves changing, why it might be a draw. But I mean, heard of people coming from like New York, and maybe it's New York City and they don't have a lot of trees there that are going to change. I don't know. But I mean, I used to love going to all the county fairs when they would come out in the fall. Okay, so yeah, you're not far from Orlando. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's in Orlando, but I am horrible with remembering that kind of information. If you finish early, the other person has to answer in the same amount of time. I did not realize that, Sandy, so I apologize if I've given you shortened times. I usually am like, oh, I'm done, I might as well just swipe down. But I will not do that from now on. Oh, Chris, I almost melted in Florida heat. I needed an ice bath. Yeah, see, Dormouse, Paul and I did look a while back at going to Florida. We were looking at some house that they had out there that was really nice, very expensive, not expensive, very inexpensive for what we would pay around here. But I'm not sure either of us could handle the heat. Granted, we'd have AC, and I don't go out all that often unless I'm going shopping or sitting on the porch doing a live video. But yeah, heat, I do not like heat. I do not like cold. I like mild. Like I said, 70 to 75 year-round would be perfect. Chris, I'm originally from Buffalo, New York, so I remember. Been in Florida since 1979. You've been there a while. My niece and her husband moved down there probably about 8 years ago. You actually do get used to the heat, Chris, because, like I said, I do not handle heat well. And one problem Paul and I have is, like, when we're in the office, And um, the if he's comfortable, I'm hot. If I'm comfortable, he's cold. So it's a bit of a challenge trying to make both of us happy. Keep swiping when you're done. It makes for a better challenge. Okay, if you say so. Um, I actually didn't realize that that affected the time, but if I finish early, I will do so. Um, but yeah, if anyone wants to play Stop, if you like word games, that kind of thing, I'll be more than happy to play with you. Although, I don't know if you feel the same way, Sandy. I wish there were more variety of categories. I'm seeing the same categories since we've been playing for a little while. I'm seeing the same categories over and over and over again. So, Scotland, we laugh one sunny day in summer. Everyone burns bright red, then we revert to cool weather. Our houses, etc., do not isolate, insulated to keep the heat in. Enjoy wood burners. Yeah, see, I could deal with, well, not, I like having the sun. I don't like the heat. So like today is perfect. It's sunny. It's not shining directly on me. Nice cool breeze. I'm in heaven right now. So, you know, give me this kind of weather year round and I am a happy camper. I don't think there's any place. Somebody said Hawaii would be like that. And I was like, I think they get pretty hot in Hawaii. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's my thought. And I could be wrong. I don't know everything. I know it seems like I do, but I don't. So yeah, if anyone out there wants to play Stop, I think we linked up through Facebook to play that together, right, Sandy? I think. I don't know. Anyway, I think one way you can link up with someone is through Facebook. So if you feel like playing, feel free to include me if you want. Just don't be surprised if I spell things with letters that really don't go. I agree about the categories. I do notice the more levels you play, a newer category opens up. I play with 5 players, so I guess I play enough, but agree more subjects are needed. Yeah, I've thought of many other topics that they could do, like even in I don't know, finally figured out how to comment on your live. Kelsey, hello Kelsey. I didn't realize that there was an issue with commenting on the live. Oh, because of the chat on the side, not commenting in. Gotcha. Okay. You've done it. Now you've chatted in the live. That's awesome. See, it doesn't take much to distract me from what... Kelsey, it's not you, believe me. I will get very flustered trying to do what Paul says is the simplest thing, and he gets irritated with me sometimes because I'm so focused on what I think he's saying that I don't pay attention to what he's actually saying, I guess. I don't know. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm not stupid. I'm just, I don't know what I would be. Naive? No, I'm not naive. Innocent? No. I'm with you, Roy. I don't like the heat or snow, which we have here in BC. That's why spring and fall are perfect. Yeah. I think they don't last long enough, Hazel. It seems like, it's to me, that spring and fall seem to last longer than they do now. Maybe it's the global warming, I don't know, but it seems like we go from winter to this much spring and then summer. And then fall, about this much, and then winter. So, yeah, Dormouse, I get something fixed in my head and I can't look outside. Okay, Chris, thank you for joining in. Have a great weekend. Glad you stopped by. Yeah, it's, I mean, I'm relatively intelligent, but I do kind of put blinders on sometimes and interpret what I think challenged. That's it, Sandy. I am challenged. In many, many ways, I am challenged. So, here I go again, losing track of what I was talking about. Anyway, but yes, ow, sorry. But yeah, that's what it was. I just, in my head, I'm like, as soon as I've interpreted what I think he's saying, it's hard for me to swivel out of that, I guess. Because I'm like, okay, this is what he's saying. And it's like, although to be fair to me, I think he sometimes does not explain himself as thoroughly as he thinks he does, because he knows what he's talking about. He has the pre-knowledge of whatever. So I think he's giving me shortcut information that I really need much more detailed than he's giving me. Don't tell him I said that. Hopefully he won't watch this. And if he does, I will be hearing about it. I'm just kidding. Oh, but anyway, I don't know. So, ow. I don't know why it's, well, I do know why it's mostly my right arm. That's my dominant arm. So that one, of course, is the one that gives me more trouble. Couldn't be my left arm, which I don't use that much. It is technology I have zero patience for, Dormouse. You would have a good laugh at me trying to register an account to do online shop. Grumpy was, will you look, listen, and follow? He gets the look. Yeah. And that's the problem. I'm technologically challenged. Paul actually works for a company that does technology and computers and all of that stuff. So he's been doing computer stuff for decades. It's kind of like with me in driving. I know how to put the gas in the thing. I know the pedals to push. But if you ask me to try to fix something or change the oil or whatever, I'm lost. And it's the same thing with computers. I know how to turn them on. I know how to do a few things. I know how to edit now, but that took a long time to figure out. But as far as how it all works, years ago, I don't think it was this computer I have now. I think it was another one. But he actually made me put it all together myself. He was there to tell me what to do, but I was like panicked that I was gonna, because they always say if you touch, I'm really sorry, but I have to leave as well. All right, Hazel, I'm so glad that you stopped by. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you'll come back in 2 weeks when I have another live. What was I saying? It doesn't take me long to totally lose track. Anyway, I don't know. Anyone have any questions or comments or whatnot? Dormouse, I can sew your head do dialysis for you, and a good listener, and hand write reports. Give me a computer to do a report, and I'm stumped. I was that way with like some things on the computer. Like writing, I'm now better. But if it's a new program, something I don't know, it panics me. When I first started doing these videos, I had a free editing software that was very basic. And you can tell in some of my videos back then. But Paul had access to a fancier version of Premiere Pro from Adobe, and I was panicked to switch over because I didn't know how it worked, what was going on. Bye, Hazel. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. So I had to watch umpteen videos until I felt comfortable switching over. And like I kept using the old program while I was trying to play around with the new program, because I mean, and there are still things that test my patience and my knowledge, but I've gotten better with it. So I totally understand. If it's something new, I get very panicky. I don't do well with new things. I also, and I don't know if it's, I'm assuming it might be the ADD, because when I have something set in my head, that's what it is. So if something comes to disrupt some plans and it's like immediate, freaks me out. I don't know about you people, but I do not do well with last minute changes. So I'll get these messages from my dentist, my doctor. Oh, we have an opening. Would you like to switch? Nope. I cannot switch, because I had it in my head. This is when I was going. I had it in my head. I was not doing anything today. Nope, I'm not taking it. So I'm going to tell them the next time I see them or hear from them, please don't ask me to switch appointments, because I'm not going to do it. Unless it's like a week down the road and you're like, oh, okay, I have time to adjust. I don't do well with change. So, you know, it's not going to happen. Don't try to give me a new appointment. Not that any of you are going to give me any appointments, but so do any of you have any plans for the weekend? What are you guys doing? I am doing not much. I do plan tomorrow to do some, I have so many cooking things, so many things filling the cabinets. I really need to go through them, because there are things I have not used in years. I really need to go through, and now I understand. My mother, once she got to probably around my age, she started like weeding out this and that, reducing down. That's what I really need to do. So I'm going to maybe do some of that tomorrow, but we also have to go through a lot of Paul's aunt's things, her bills and stuff, because her house is finally being sold, so now we have to pay off all of her stuff with the proceeds from the house, and so that's got to be done. Although I already sorted all the bills out. It's really up to Paul from here, but I'll probably help him if he needs me to. I get appointments. I have planned enough rest and usually stacked a couple of appointments on the same day. Yeah, I would rather do things all at once and then just be able to be home. I'm a homebody, so I much prefer that. Kelsey is going to spend tomorrow reading, because we are forecast for rain all day, so no walking tomorrow. That is one of my favorite things, is when you're sitting inside all cozy reading or watching TV or whatever, and it's rain, especially a thunderstorm. I love a thunderstorm. I personally find them so relaxing. My grandmother was terrified of them. She used to hide in the bathroom when there were thunderstorms. But I love them. I find them very relaxing. I used to have a screened-in porch when I lived in Connecticut, and I had a couch out on there, and when it would rain, I would just go sit out there and enjoy the rain, or especially thunderstorms. And I loved it. I loved it. It feels like I am on a permanent pre-death declutter. That's one way to put it, Dormouse. I'm off to see the new Joker film with Lady Gaga. I am looking forward to that. I love the original, and I think it's interesting that they used the term folie à deux, which means it's a psychological term meaning a shared madness. So I think that's perfect, but a lot of people might be like, I don't understand what that means. Karen's watching football and baseball games. As much as I enjoy seeing them in their uniforms, Karen, I cannot get into watching sports. I'm glad you have them. I have lots of friends who watch them. I just can't. I love Sandy. I love a dark, dreary turn on the lights during the day. Oh my God, I love when it's that dark during the day that you need the lights on. I'm with you, Sandy. We are very simpatico, Sandy. Yeah, Kelsey, I want to see that too. That looks good. Karen, my two hometown teams are the Kansas City Royals and Kansas City Chiefs. Well, I will say that I at least know of them. I couldn't tell you anyone who's on a team or even how the games, I mean, I know basically how the games are played, but I don't know a lot of the details that I'm sure you are probably well aware of. Dormouse, it looks like a film that will play with your head. Yeah, I think the original, the Joker was definitely that kind of, I mean, it was great. I thought psychologically, speaking of which, not to distract myself, but has anyone watched The Penguin on Max, HBO Max? I am shocked that that is Colin Farrell. How does that hot man become that penguin? And hello, Yolanda. I saw you. There you are. I saw Yolanda. I didn't want to ignore you. I was just distracted by everything else. I hope you're doing well, Yolanda, and you're planning a joyous and relaxing weekend. But yeah, if you get to see the Penguin, really well done. I'm hoping, because I know that this is being done as a limited series, I'm hoping maybe they'll do that with a lot of the Batman villains, although they do mention in the beginning of this about the Riddler doing something. But they could always go back in time and show us the Riddler's origin or something. I love that kind of stuff. Origin stories, especially with like comic book characters that I've loved. Yeah, definitely enjoy that. I watched him speaking about how long costume and makeup took. He was saying it was hard to get out of character after a long day of filming. No, but seeing it advertised is on my to-be watch list. Definitely worth watching. Oh, Lady Gaga and Colin were on Graham Norton last night and both talked about the Joker and Penguin. That's an interesting pairing that they both are doing Batman villains but totally separate. But they are kind of the same type of thing. I mean, the Penguin is very realistic seeming. It's not like cartoony. But, I mean, and Colin Farrell, if he doesn't win an Emmy for this, I'll be surprised, because amazing. But I really do hope that they continue it with other Batman villains, or maybe even other villains like Lex Luthor or something like that. I love that kind of stuff. More acorns falling. I'll have to check out that Graham Norton. We used to record Graham Norton, but then Paul would put off watching them for a while, and then they'd start piling up and blocking. So I was like, I stopped recording them, but I do love Graham Norton. I actually saw him last night on Drag Race UK, which you can only watch online on the WoW Presents Plus platform. But so I see him in that a lot, but I really do enjoy Graham Norton. But I'll have to look for that episode of the show. Definitely worth seeing. All right. Start a new series right just now. Yeah, I hate when I have to look down at the laptop, because the angle is making me do this. I should have tried to angle it a little better. But yeah, there are some things. The new Salem's Lot movie came out on Max the other day. I haven't watched it yet. I had been hoping they were doing it as a limited series, because the book was so full of things that I really hope that they could insert into this. I'm hoping it's better than the original what do they call miniseries back in the day, in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s. I mean, granted, it was done for TV, so what could you do? This is HBO. I'm sure it's going to be much scarier. But fingers crossed that I enjoy it. But anyway, it has been a little over an hour, so I'm going to wrap this up. I so often find films disappoint. I totally agree, Dormouse. Very seldom have I been impressed with a movie. I mean, it's happened. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but it has happened. I think Misery was probably a really good adaptation. But yeah, usually in The Green Mile and Shawshank Redemption. But that, and of course I'm listing all Stephen King translations. But yeah, often there's just so much that they have to miss out on or decide to change for some weird reason. Most of the changes don't even make sense. Thank you, Alan. You too. Have a great weekend. I hope you're going to be doing something fun tomorrow. Or even just relaxing. Believe me, that can be fun. But anyways, it has been over an hour. So I will leave you guys here. If you have anything you'd like to ask before we go, feel free. But I'm assuming not, because I've asked things all along and nobody's asked anything. Well, they've asked some things, but I'm sure you've already asked everything you wanted to know. And I'm just rambling now, of course. Good night, Kelsey. I am glad that you stopped by. You have a great weekend as well. And thanks for having me. Karen, I'm so glad that you came by. Thank you very much. 2 weeks. Maybe I'll try to start doing these weekly. I don't know. But I'm glad you were able to stop by too, Sandy. Oh, good. I'm glad that you were able to join me and that we had this little distraction for a little while, Dormouse. All right, people, I'm going to leave you there. I hope that you all have a great weekend and enjoy whatever you decide to do, even if it's just sitting around relaxing. So, until next time, bye.